Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to be teaching us how to cut and draft this beautiful Ankara blouse that has an asymmetric hemline and neckline. So if this is something you like, stay tuned to the end of the video as I show you the step-by-step process on how to go about cutting and drafting this style. So I have gone ahead to mark the horizontal lines. So I have the starting line, which will serve as the shoulder line, just as you can see. So I have the chest line, which is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 plus 1 inch for shoulder slope. That's how to get the chest line. So next up, you input your bust, your shoulder to your bust point, your shoulder to your under bust, your shoulder to your front waist length. The front waist length and back waist length are different. Then next, you impute your waist to your hip level. That's your waist to your upper hip. So you impute it. So next up, the next thing I'm going to be placing is half of the shoulder measurement on the shoulder line and on the chest line. Then I'm going to draw a straight line, just as you can see. So the basic neck width is 3 inches and 3 inches and 3 inches for the neck width and depth, then 1 inch for shoulder slope. You go ahead and connect the point. So next up, you are going to also connect the neckline as well, just as you can see. So next up, I am going to get the midpoint here. You're going to get the midpoint, come in by half of an inch, and connect the points together so that you can have your armhole curve or your arm sag, just as you can see. So next up, on the bust point line and all through the hip line, you are going to place half of your nipple to nipple or half of your bust span. You are going to divide it by 2. You place it, then you roll a straight line. So on the waistline, I marked half an inch on both sides for the contouring. Then I'm going to go up by 2 inches for the hip. For the hip line, just to get the upper hip level. The actual waist to hip is 10 inches, so I went up by 2 inches to get the upper hip line. So now I'm just going to connect that intake to the upper hip level and to the bust point. So next up, I'm going to mark quarter of the bust measurement. So you will mark quarter of your waist measurement after you have snatched your waist. Maybe your actual waist measurement is 30, then you remove 2 inches from it for the waist snatching. So whatever you have is what you are going to divide. So basically, you just divide your waist measurement after you have snatched it. So you divide it by 4, then you impute that intake that was there. You impute it basically. So that's what I'm doing here. So next up, I'm going to place quarter of the hip measurement. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect all the lines together, just as you can see. So I'm going to be using this part of the ruler to connect from here to the hip line. You can see the style has a bit of this conical effect around that part. So that's the reason for using that part of the ruler. So to contour the under bust, I'm going to divide whatever I have for my under bust, like the measurement I have for my under bust divided by 4. So whatever I have, I'm going to place it on the pattern paper. So whatever I have left, I'm going to share it. Do you guys understand? So in this case, I had about, I think, 0.75. So then I'm on the center front, I'm going to have like 0.25. Then on the side front, I'm going to have half of an inch. So that's the way I shared it. So now if you have a particular way you contour your under bust, you can go ahead and do that process. So next up, I'm just going to connect it to the bust point, just as you can see. Connect it to the bust point this way. Then also connect the other side as well, just as you can see. Then I'm going to connect it to the dart leg on the waistline. Then I'll blend it in, just as you can see. So next up, I'm going to get the midpoint of the shoulder. Then I'm going to connect it to the bust point, just as you can see this way. For that spacing that we have around the bust, so I'm going to mark it on the chest line. So I mark 0.5 inches up to the under bust. Then I wrote a straight line just like this. That division, that is what you have. So next up, you are going to determine how high you want your chest line to be. So in this case, I initially marked 2 inches. Then I'm going to roll a straight line across. So you determine how high you want your over bust to be or how low you want it to be, depends on your choice. So on the center front, I mark 0.5 inches, and on the side front, I mark half of an inch for contouring. So I went ahead and connected to the bust point, just as you can see. That's what I have. So I measure what I have for this dart leg. What I have here is lesser than what I have by the side. So I'm going to replace what I have for the front dart leg to the side dart leg so that it can be equal. So I figured that this over bust was a little bit too high. So I reduced it to 1.5 inches before connecting it to give you that bit of sweetheart neck. Bear in mind that that part is deep. So I reduced it to 1.5 inches instead of 2 inches. That's what I have. Then I'm just going to reconnect the dart leg, making sure that everything makes sense there, just as you can see. So you're going to determine how deep you want this part to be. So from the over bust, I marked down 1.5 inches below. Bear in mind that that part is deep. So I just go ahead and connect it using my ruler this way. So how deep you want it to be entirely depends on you. Do you understand? So I'm going to go ahead and connect it this way because it has this two cupped corset effect. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm connecting it to this part, as you can see. So for the other side, you can mark what you have from that your bust point to that bust bridge. Mark it on the other side. Add half of an inch or 0.75. You know that your bust is fuller on the other side. Do you guys understand? So next thing, you are going to connect it this way. You can see where I stop. You connect it to the bust point line. Just stop there. So next thing, below the chest line, I'm going to mark half of an inch or 0.75. Then this other part of the cup, I'm going to connect it into, you can see what I have. I'm going to connect it into that side below the chest line, connect it to that 0.75. So you can see, then I'm going to go ahead and complete this part, just as you can see. So we have our yoke already. So the difference between the front and back waist length is 1 inch. So I'm going to mark 1 inch below the bust point. So that's the bust start, just as you can see. We're almost done for the front pattern. So for the front now, you have to determine the length of your blouse. You can see it's a very long blouse. So either you use your hip level, your upper hip level, or your lower hip level. So whatever you want to use. In this case, I'm just going to use the upper hip level. So below the waistline, I came down by 3.5 inches because it has an opening. Then I'm going to connect it to that leg, just as you can see. That's what I have. So now whatever I have left here, I'm going to share that part into 4. You measure what you have there, then share it into 4 or 3. So in this case, I shared it into 3. So when I shared it into 3, I'm going to get the midpoint of that 3 that I shared. I've gotten the midpoint, then I'm going to rule a straight line. So then I'm going to go up by 1 inch. This is because of the design that it has at that point. Then I'm just going to connect it in form of triangle. So you mark 1 inch, then you connect it in form of triangle, just like you see me do. So you go ahead and connect it this way, just as you can see. So I'm just going to try to make the lines more visible because that looks fainted. So this is that for the front pattern. So let's move up to the back. So for the back, I've gone ahead to mark the chest line, the shoulder line. The back waist length is different from the front waist length by 1 inch. Then I also marked the waist to the hip level. Then I went up by 2 inches. Do you understand? Or yes, I went up by 2 inches. Or the waist length, the length of the front pattern minus the bust that you use it to get the back measurement. So So next up, I'm going to place half of the shoulder measurement on the shoulder line and on the chest line. Then neck width is 3 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect this point just as you see. So neck width is 3 inches and shoulder slope is 1 inch. And just go ahead and connect the points. Then 1 inch for neck depth at the back. So next thing, I'm going to get the midpoints of these points. I'm going to get the midpoints coming by half of an inch. Then go ahead and connect the points together. So basically all I did for the front, just like this, is what I'm doing for the back. So you get your armhole curve, just as you can see. So next up, I'm going to be placing quarter of the bust measurement on the chest line, quarter of your waist measurement. After you've snatched it, you place it, then quarter of your hip measurement. Then you go ahead and connect all the points together, just as you can see. So I'm going to be using this part of the ruler to connect it. Do you guys understand? So I'm going to mark half of an inch below the chest line, just like this. Then I'm going to roll a straight line across. So this will serve as the yoke for the back. Do you understand? Serve as the yoke for the back. So next up, I'm going to determine the opening for the back. So at the hip leg, I marked 1.5 inches, and on the chest line, I marked about 2 inches or 2.5 inches. So that's how open you want your back to be. So I'm just going to roll this line. So yeah, whatever I have left, I shared it into 4, just like the way we did for the front. You share it into 4. That 4 pieces, you get the midpoint of each part. Then you roll a straight line across. You roll a straight line across it. So once you do that, then you mark 1 inch on that straight line that you marked. You mark 1 inch so that it gives you, then you go ahead and connect it to give you that triangle effect. So that's what you do for the back. So this is what it's going to look like, just as you can see. So now I'm just going to divide that half of an inch into 2 from that point. So this slanted part is going to be cut out. So I just tighten that place a little bit. The yoke for the back, just tighten it. So now this is our front pattern. Bear in mind that your front pattern is on fold. So you basically have a full front. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut. So just go ahead and follow the process. So you can see I'm cutting the side first. So the reason I stopped at the side now is to open up the bust starts. So then you can go ahead and close the bust starts. So when you close the bust start, you use your paper tape to hold it down. You reshape what you have for that cup. Then you go ahead and blend it in by the side, just as you can see. So if you have a tracing wheel, you can use your tracing wheel to trace it out so that you don't make mistakes. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue cutting what I have. So yes, I just go ahead and continue cutting. So if you've not liked this video at this point, please kindly do so, and don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, comment, like and share. So just go ahead and continue the process. So I'm just trying to arrange this side piece of the front. So I'm just trying to arrange it. I'm just going to go ahead and continue cutting as well. So when I got to the other side, I had to arrange the second part of the front piece. So just have to arrange it carefully. So this is what I had. So next up, we're going to cut out the back. You can see what I'm cutting. So you are going to cut out the back piece. So the back, for the back now, what you need for the back to be unfolded is the yoke. Do you get? So I'm going to trace the yoke on another pattern paper so that I can have a full front for the yoke. Do you guys understand? So I can have a full front. So basically, this is the front yoke. Then you mark out the left side and the right side of the front yoke. So I marked about 1.5 inches at that point. Then I indicated it, I slanted it into the second dart leg by the time we were shaping. How do I get it? So now from this yoke, now I measure what I have there for the second dart leg, then I indicated it on that point. So here I marked 1 inch inward from the neck width. So then I'm going to go ahead and connect it into, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it this way. Remember that it's an asymmetric neckline, so just go ahead and connect it this way, just as you can see. You can see what we have. So this is for the front yoke. I'm going to tighten the neckline by ruling 2 slanted lines, then 0.125 on both sides. For this part, I'm going to rule 2 slanted lines, then mark 0.125 or 0.25 on both sides. So we are tightening the neck and this our yoke so that it doesn't gape. So you close it in form of that this way. You close it in form of that. You use your paper tape to hold it down. Just as you can see me, use your paper tape to hold it down. So then you now redraw the line. So you close up this part as well. Don't close it down, just make sure that you close it up. You do that for this part as well. So we are tightening it. So you redraw the lines on both sides. So for this part too, you redraw the lines so that the lines are equal. Now, so we are going to cut out the unwanted parts. So this is what we have. So when you do this, your neckline is not going to gape, it's going to stand very firm. So now this is the back pattern. So I'm going to label the left and the right piece. So you can see the length, the neckline of the back of the right piece or the front is different. So whatever I have from the front piece, I marked it for the back. So whatever I have for the front piece for the left side, I marked it. That's what I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it this way. This is because the shoulder of both sides are not equal. Just carefully look at what I'm doing, you'll get it. It's not something that is difficult. So this way now everything will make sense. So this is what we have for the front pattern. It's a full front, so I'm just trying to arrange it carefully. So basically this is what we have for it. So I'm just trying to close the second bust dart. So this is what we have. Just make sure that you label your patterns correctly. So this is what we have for the front piece. So now I'm just going to go ahead and place the back pattern. So this is what we have for the front pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this away and show you what the back pattern is. So this is what the back pattern looks like. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video.